Maria has never been very accommodating. Her son, Alexander, and daughter-in-law Anna knew this very well. But Maria's arrival always caused Anna panic mixed with irritation. This time the situation was even worse. The mother-in-law did not know that Alexander and Anna had divorced a long time ago. And the most unpleasant thing was that Anna had no idea how to tell her this news. When the bell rang sharply in the hallway, Anna jumped. The sound was like a gunshot, breaking the tense silence. She froze, afraid to take an extra step. Her heart was racing as she walked to the door, trying to breathe as quietly as possible. "Anna, open up, it's me." Elena's friend's voice came. Anna breathed a sigh of relief and quickly opened the door. Elena cheerfully flew into the apartment and looked at her nervous friend. "Well, tell me, why am I rushing through the whole city like crazy?" "Stop it," she demanded. Anna, clutching her head in her hands, as if trying to keep her thoughts in order, whispered, almost losing her voice. "Maria is coming. I do not know how to tell her that Alexander and I are no longer together." Despair could be seen in her eyes, and, as if to someone invisible, she kept repeating in her head over and over again, "How do I say this?" Her hands were shaking, and her gaze darted around the room, as if she was looking for an answer in the shadows on the walls or in the long-forgotten corners of her own soul. She thinks everything is the same as before. Elena frowned, her gaze became serious. "You mean she doesn't know anything at all?" "Absolutely." Anna nodded, her voice trembling. "Absolutely. The last time my mother-in-law came was a year ago. We had a big fight then. She didn't like everything from our apartment to the way I was raising my children. We haven't spoken since that trip." Elena thought about it, her face expressed concern. "And Alexander? Did he talk to her? Why didn't he tell her the truth?" Anna sighed wearily. "He could have told her everything. But instead I decided that it was my problem. He has a new life, a new wife. And I stayed with the kids in this communal apartment." Their conversation was interrupted by a sharp ring at the door. Anna froze in place, her eyes wide with fear. "It's her." "What is it?" she whispered. "Maybe I just won't open it." Elena resolutely pushed her towards the door, her eyes sparkling with determination, as if she was conveying some of her confidence to Anna. "Open it." Her voice became quiet but insistent, almost a whisper, as if the words themselves were afraid to sound loud in the tense silence. "Better right away than later. You're not going to avoid this conversation anyway." Anna froze, gripping the door handle so tightly that her fingers turned white. Her breathing became ragged, and her heart was pounding louder in her chest with every passing second. There was a chaotic chorus of thoughts in my head. What if I can't? What if she doesn't understand? But behind all that fear, there was a quiet determination. Anna took a deep breath, as if before jumping into cold water, and turned the key in the lock. Summoning all her courage, Anna turned the key and opened the door. Maria was standing on the threshold with a large suitcase. Her stern gaze penetrated deep into the depths, as if she immediately noticed something was amiss. "Why are you taking so long to open? Who was she hiding?" "What is it?" she asked coldly, stepping inside. "No one," Anna replied softly. Maria went into the hallway, looking at the shabby walls and old furniture. Her gaze stopped on Anna. "Where is Alexander?" "At work?" Anna hesitated, not knowing what to say. But Elena, seeing her confusion, stepped forward. "And it won't be. He's not her husband anymore." Maria froze, her face pale. She looked from Elena to Anna and asked in an icy voice, "What does that mean? Explain it to me." There was a tense silence in the kitchen. Anna hardly told the whole truth, about the divorce, about the apartment change, about Alexander's new family. Maria listened in silence, her face remained motionless, but her eyes expressed pain and disappointment. "Why didn't you tell me?" "What is it?" she finally asked. "Why am I learning about this only now?" Anna lowered her head, unable to find words to justify herself. But Maria suddenly stood up, her voice firm. "Are the kids in kindergarten? I want to see them." Anna nodded, and Maria went to her room, saying finally, "We have a lot to discuss." The next day, Maria was unusually calm. She played with her grandchildren, carefully following their joyful movements, but her gestures were slightly mechanical. Sometimes she would suddenly freeze, pressing her lips together, as if trying to hold something inside. When her grandchildren laughed, her smile flashed, but quickly faded, giving way to a thoughtful expression. She asked questions about school, clubs, and children's interests, but often did not finish listening to the answers, staring out the window or nervously adjusting the folds on her skirt. It seemed that every sound in the apartment echoed painfully in her mind, and her hands kept automatically straightening her hair or crossing themselves, as if trying to protect her from an invisible cold. Anna understood that there was a storm inside her. When the children went to bed, Maria sat down opposite Anna and said, "Tell me everything." Without hiding it. Anna explained again. Alexander cheated, left, and now lives with another woman. Maria was silent for a long time, then she said, "I always knew that he looked like his father. He also left us when Alexander was 5. Maria's voice trembled, but she quickly regained control of herself. "I remember how he left without even looking back, and I was standing with Alexander in my arms. Then I swore that I could handle everything on my own, that we didn't need anyone. Alexander was my only meaning. And now I see." She looked away, as if trying to hide her emotions, that he was going the same way. "Maybe I made a mistake somewhere in my stubbornness." Anna looked at her in surprise. This was the first mention of the past that Maria had always hidden. But she continued, "Then I decided that I wouldn't let anyone ruin my life anymore. But now I see that my son is repeating the same mistakes. Apparently, I couldn't raise him the way I wanted to." The next day, Maria left the house. Anna was worried, not knowing where she could go. In the evening, an elderly woman returned, holding papers in her hands. "I've issued a deed of gift for my apartment," she said calmly. "This is your home now. You will no longer live in a communal apartment." Anna couldn't believe her ears. "Why are you doing this? Are you sure? The grandchildren are my family. And you, Anna, deserve a normal life," Maria replied firmly. "Alexander will stand up for himself. He's a grown man. And I want to help those who really deserve it." Anna tried to object, but Maria remained adamant. Her gaze softened, but her voice was firm. "I made my choice, and it's the right one. It's been a few weeks." Anna and her children were settling into a new apartment, and Maria began to call often and ask about their affairs. One day she came to a housewarming party, having a warm family evening. When the children, Anna and her friends gathered at the table, Maria smiled for the first time in a long time. "I don't think I can remember the last time I was so calm," she said. "Maybe now I can become a good grandmother." Anna smiled in response. "You are already a great grandmother. And now we're all together, and that's the main thing." Maria looked at her grandchildren playing on the new carpet and felt that she had made the right choice. The family found harmony again, even if it looked completely different from before. Soon, life took on a new direction. Anna continued to work, the children got used to the new school, and Maria became a frequent visitor. Despite her previous severity, she became softer, more tolerant, as if the weight of the past had finally begun to recede. In the evenings, she told the children stories from her youth, coming up with something on the go to win their attention. Maria gradually became not just a strict relative, but part of a family that lived in a new way. Even Alexander, having learned about her decision, decided to visit them. His new wife, Anna, also came to meet Alexander's children. It was an awkward evening, but in the end, everyone felt that the past could be put behind them. The story of this family has now become the beginning of a new chapter filled with small but significant steps forward. Maria began to participate in her grandchildren's lives, accompanying them to school, preparing homework with them, and sometimes telling incredible stories from her youth that seemed to inspire even adults. Anna, inspired by the changes, enrolled in advanced training courses and dreamed of starting her own business one day. The grandchildren began to smile more often, seeing their grandmother come to life before their eyes, and the house was filled with new warmth. It was not just a new page, it was a story in which each character found his place and his role, ready to move on with confidence and faith in a bright future. Maria realized that the most important thing in life was not control, but care and love, which she now gave to her grandchildren without reserve. This change was noticed by everyone around her, and even Anna herself began to look at her life differently. One evening, when Anna was sitting on the balcony with a cup of tea, she heard Maria telling the children a new story. Her voice was soft, filled with warmth and love, and the children laughed, interrupting her with questions. At that moment, Anna realized that despite all the difficulties, her family had found harmony. Even if not immediately, even through pain and disappointment, but now each of them could look to the future with confidence. It was a new beginning, and it promised to be bright. At this time, Maria, interrupting the fairy tale, suddenly said, "You know, children, there is a continuation in this story. But I'll tell you about it tomorrow. It's time for bed now." Anna smiled softly. New chapters of their lives awaited them, filled with warmth, support, and confidence that together they would cope with everything.